Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all well, and if you are new, please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I am doing a response video to two other videos. The first video was from Marilyn Maya Mendoza's channel. She is the baby boomer booktuber and she's just great fun. She did a video about what she's learned in her year and a half on BookTube. Then Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading did a response video, and I thought I would get in on this conversation for a couple of reasons. One, for anyone thinking of starting a channel, I think it's a good thing to hear other people's experiences. And two, for other booktubers, it can be, at least for me, can be affirming to hear that other people have similar experiences or they offer a new perspective. So I will leave links to both Marilyn and Kelly's videos below, so please go and check those out. I am still a small channel, but I am going to offer 10 things that I have learned in about my year and a half, I think, on BookTube. Some of them are similar to Marilyn and Kelly, so these are just my thoughts for what it's worth. So the number one thing, and it might sound cliche, but the number one thing is to be yourself. So this seems obvious, but here's the thing. Everyone brings something different to BookTube by just being who you are. So I know that when I first started out, I watched videos on how to start a channel, and they said you had to find your niche, and I had the idea that I would do diverse reading. And I do that because I do try to read diverse authors and stories. But I also learned that I'm one of the few booktubers who talk about Canadian literature or Can Lit, at least on a regular basis. And I think it didn't take long for my subscribers and other booktubers to know that that's kind of my thing. So just by being Canadian and reading Can Lit and talking about it, which is, you know, what I do anyway, and who I am anyway, it's become kind of my niche on BookTube. And I also get to share all of the other things that I'm reading as well. So if you think of other booktubers, you know, you can probably say what their thing is too. So like Ollie from Criminale is crime pulp horror. Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot is doing the 1001 book countdown, from the 1001 books to read before you die. AJ from AJ Dunn Reads and Writes is known for literary fiction, especially coming of age stories. Brandon's bookshelf is philosophy. Bill Ruttenberg is history. Sajid from Books Are My Social Life focuses on books about the Caribbean and Muslim experiences. There's Jim from Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, and Jim is known for his famous alphabet tags. So like I could go on forever here, but you get the idea. So everyone is reading other things as well, but they all have their own thing and their own way of doing things. And when the community gets to know who you are, it's great. And I say, embrace it. So my number two is, especially for those just starting out too, like, but it's for everyone because we all need to hear this sometimes. Number two is to keep going. So most people's channels don't grow quickly, and sometimes getting that first 100 subscribers can take a long time, right? So just keep going. You know, no one started with 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers. Everyone has started somewhere and has learned along the way. So if you are enjoying being a booktuber, keep putting out content. Sometimes it takes a while for people to find you. And I know for me, I am more likely to subscribe to someone who, you know, has a few videos and shows that they are going to stick with it than someone who isn't putting out content. So a couple of things can happen here. One, you can get overwhelmed and wonder if it's all worth it. And 2, sometimes you might not feel like making videos. My suggestion is just keep going. Maybe you need to change things up a bit, for it to be fun for you, or maybe you need to just put out a quick video, but keep going because it will eventually pay off. Number 3, and this is an important one that I think both Marilyn and Kelly talked about it. It's a lot of work and it is time consuming. So even if you don't do a lot of editing and have a lot of bells and whistles with your channel, it still takes time to film and to upload your videos, to do the thumbnails and respond to comments. So for some people, the editing process is something that they really enjoy, and yet for others, it isn't. And regardless, it all takes time. However, like with all things, if it's something you enjoy, then it's worth doing, and you can decide how much time you really want to put into, every video or every week. But know that it does take effort. Number 4, in some ways is connected to number 3, and that is you do not have to be a technical wizard. So if tech scares you, don't let this hold you back. This was my biggest learning curve when I started my channel. I had never filmed, I had never edited, and there was a bit of a learning curve to filming, to learning editing programs, and what worked for me. So I have very low tech. I film on my phone and I use a cheap tripod that kind of leans this way if it's not propped up. So if you saw my video with Mark Tewksbury and Rob Mabey, that was all filmed the same way, even though they are both used to lots of tech, to actual TV sets and all the fancy stuff. I had my phone and I had my tripod, and I propped it up with the book. But we were still able to bring you a video with content. So there are some channels who do some amazing videography and really fancy stuff. Pay From Attention does some very creative videos. Same with the channel The Ritual of Reading. Absolutely beautiful videos. Then you have self-proclaimed no frills channels like Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads, Steve Donahue, right? And all of these channels are worth watching. And then there's everything in between. So it's good. So following that is number 5. It doesn't have to be perfect. So this is something that if you're not careful could really drive you mad. It's next to impossible to edit out every background noise. And if you attempt it, the time-consuming thing becomes a bigger factor. The BookTube community, and I've heard this from subscribers, that they like when things aren't perfect. It makes it more real, and it makes them feel like we as booktubers are real too. So if you stumble on a word, you hold a book up wrong, or hold the wrong book up, or whatever, like, oh well, laugh about it and carry on. Again, if you watch the video with Mark and Rob, there I was interviewing a Canadian celebrity, a Canadian Olympian, and the best Canada Reads defender ever, I will also say. And the toilet kept flushing. It probably flushed like 8 times while we were filming. And I was able to edit some of that out. Yes, was it frustrating? Yeah. But you can see, like, we just laughed about it and we carried on. So, I would say don't spend too much time trying to make everything perfect, because it's not the important part. Number 6 is that engagement is so important. So BookTube really is a community, and engaging with others helps build that community and helps grow your channel. So joining events like Shelley Swearingen and Jack from Spread Book Joys, they're doing a Picture This event, participating in buddy reads and read-alongs, like Gemma from Gem of Books is doing a read-along of Pachinko. Like, these events help the BookTube community to get to know one another and really enjoy our reading journeys together. So as a booktuber, I find the hardest thing to do is to keep up with the watching of all of the other videos of all the other booktubers, plus do my own reading and my own creating of content. But it's important to do the best that I can and support others in the community. And one of the most surprising things for me, I would say since I started my channel, is the number of people that I have met and have had the opportunity to get to know. That's been with subscribers and with other booktubers. It's been very enriching, but it only happens if you engage. And that brings me to number 7, which is the BookTube community is so supportive. Everyone wants everyone to succeed. So MJ from Reading This Life does an entire series on supporting small booktubers. And many of us wait to see who she's going to talk about. It helps us keep up to date on newer people to the community. And people do shout outs all the time. People shout out other booktubers, but also subscribers who, might not have a channel, which is all good. If you are engaging, we see you and we know who you are. We know you're part of the community. You don't have to be putting out content in order to be considered part of that community. That's one of the things that I actually love most about the BookTube prize that Robert from Barter Hordes does. He organizes that whole thing. It's amazing. It's that it's for everyone. All are welcome to participate. And the same is true with read-alongs and buddy reads. You don't have to have a channel to be part of it. But we all support one another. So if I have painted a picture of everything being, rainbows and sunshine and unicorns, then number 8 is a warning. There's going to be some slumps. So these slumps happen to, I would say, everyone. They come in the form of reading slumps, channel growth slumps, video idea slumps. There can be a lot of slumps. Slumps happen, and all I can say to this is, be gentle and kind with yourself and refer back to number 2, which is keep going at whatever pace you feel comfortable with. Okay, number 9. It's not about the numbers. This might be a personal one, and maybe for some people it is about the numbers. But I think you can really get messed up if you spend too much time, looking at the numbers. So YouTube is a funny thing. The algorithm is a funny thing. Someone with 1,000 subscribers can be getting the exact same views on their videos as someone with 400 or 500 subscribers. Do I want my channel to grow? Absolutely. But I want it to grow so that it's reaching people who, are actually interested in books. I think acknowledging and celebrating milestones are important because it helps us remember, what a special community this really is and the hard work that people put into making it a great community. Of course, there is the whole idea around monetizing your channel. I will say that if you are looking to make money, especially a lot of money, then BookTube is probably not where you want to be. There is a very small amount of booktubers who have probably enough subscribers to make any actual money if they monetize. I think Kelly talks about this in her video, but it's not just about getting 1,000 subscribers. You need the watch hours to go with that. And, some bigger channels choose not to monetize. Some channels monetize and use that money for their channel and for that kind of thing, or they give it to charity. I don't think there's anything wrong with monetizing as long as we don't lose sight of why we are doing this in the first place. So if you are thinking of starting out, and you worry that bigger channels won't be interested, that hasn't been my experience. I don't subscribe to a channel because of the number of subscribers they have. So I am currently subscribed to channels that have, I would say, less than 30 subscribers. And I'm also subscribed to channels that have tens of thousands of subscribers. So I enjoy them all, right? People will subscribe if they like what they see. And for booktubers who have been doing this for a while, we know what it was like to start out. So you will find your people. BookTube, in my experience, is really about sharing our love of books and building a community that is a safe and non-judgmental place to share our love of reading and all things books. So that brings me to number 10. It's supposed to be fun. So I started my channel a few months after COVID hit. I needed a way to connect with others, and since I love talking about books, and I do that anyway, I thought that I would, give it a try. So I also had the time to learn a bit, since I really did know nothing about having a YouTube channel, and filming and editing, as I said before. But I enjoy learning something new, and I enjoy learning about what other people are reading and what they are finding interesting. I enjoy meeting other people, and I enjoy talking about what I read, and then, chatting with all of you. So is it always fun? No. When I've had to film something like a second or sometimes third time because my tech failed, that can be frustrating and it's not so fun, but that's rare. And most of the time, I still really enjoy it. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. It's easy to get wrapped up in, everything that's going on and start to feel pressure as a booktuber. And what I mean by that is you can feel that you have to get involved in everything. And sometimes I want to get involved in everything, or I have to read everything, because you do have to read in order to have content for your channel. But sometimes that pressure can take the fun away. So if that starts to happen, then again, I'm going to say, be gentle with yourself and maybe take a step back and reassess how your channel can work best for you. So if you are happy and having fun, then everyone watching will know. I think people who watch BookTube appreciate honesty and authenticity. So it goes back to number 1, which is be yourself. So we've come full circle, and those are some of my thoughts on 10 things that I've learned while being on BookTube. Thanks again to Marilyn Maya Mendoza, who started this whole conversation, and to Kelly, who did a great response video. Thanks for letting me kind of throw my hat in the ring here. What about all of you? If you create content, what have you learned? As someone watching the content, what do you like best about BookTube? And maybe what are some of the challenges that you have as well? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.